Hello, my name is Christina Ramirez, and I am here at the Oregon Hill Overlook in the gazebo overlooking the wonderful James River. And we have a bit of mist and rain and clouds because it is Hurricane Florence. But we are here to promote Richmond Public Library 100 days. To promote also WCVE and PBS's The Great American Read. So we might be holding the banner back a little bit as I talk. Basically, I'm here to tell you guys that I picked Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Why did I pick this? Well, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I am Central Virginia's only multilingual Latina librarian. I'm very proud of promoting literacy and promoting libraries for the growing Latino community in Central Virginia. We serve all of the community either in Richmond, Chesterfield, or Henrico. If you're a resident of any of those areas, you can get a card with all three systems, and my goal is to increase the awareness of our resources for the entire region for all of the community, because they can triple the amount of resources they have available for free for their families, from everything from computer literacy to homework help to workshops, programs. At Henrico, they can learn about digital media labs. In Richmond, they can take part of all these amazing programs that Patty Parks puts together for the community. And I just feel that libraries are key in order to really give people an opportunity to use all the wonderful resources that we pay for as taxpayers at no cost or next to no cost. And it's a great opportunity too for people to have community. It's libraries have really become a third space. You know, you have work, you have school. What do you have after that? Are you just going to go home and get on Facebook? No, you can actually go to the library and get on Facebook, and at least you're with other people too. But a little bit more about me is I love science fiction. I love watching science fiction movies, reading science fiction books. Why? Because I feel that they give you a slightly alternate reality, sometimes very alternate, but sometimes just enough, like in this book, that it hits close to home. It's not so different that you can imagine what our reality would be like if things played out with that storyline. And then it kind of makes you think of some deeper ideas or truths about what it means to be in a connected world, what it means to leave our physical reality to be in an online reality, and what are some of the responsibilities we have to each other if we kind of abandon the world we're in to just be online. And which is why I picked this location, because this is where I come to, quote, check out of my work stress, my life stress. I come to the river. The river is where I have a different reality. In this book, most of the members of the planet in 2045 escape to the oasis, which is a virtual reality. Life is pretty miserable. Everybody lives in deep poverty. There's massive overpopulation. There's not a lot going for a lot of people. Unemployment is huge, and so people check into this program in which they can escape that reality and feel like they have a community online, because they've kind of abandoned the community they had on the planet Earth. And I see a lot of parallels between this book and the whole concept of the oasis. And if you think about our social media and Facebook, a lot of people spend more time connecting with people on Facebook and through Pinterest or other resources, and not actually spending that human connection in real life. And you'll hear about people eating dinner and everybody's on their cell phone, everybody's scrolling on their news feed. People that they go to coffee shops, but they're not talking to each other, they're actually on a device. And I think that the author really was trying to say that power of social media, the power of creating alternate realities, has its place. It shouldn't supplement what we're doing now. What it really should do is help us think in more creative ways to solve the problems that we're living with right now. And I think a lot of times we have a lot of problems right now. We have a lot of issues that people are concerned about How amazing would it be to use a tool like Facebook that already connects, I don't even know how many billion people on the planet are using Facebook. Imagine if we use that as a tool to connect people, to raise awareness for major causes, to mobilize people to vote, mobilize people to solve issues of poverty or hunger. I think that we don't even realize the potential of these tools. We use them as escapism right now, but I think one of the messages of the author is that those tools have a lot more power instead of just offering a means to escape. Now I guess I'm going to read a little bit from the novel. I selected a passage here. Ogden and Kira began dating. By the end of the school year, when it was time for her to return home to London, the two of them had openly declared their love for each other. They kept in touch during the remaining year of school by emailing every day, using an early pre-internet computer bulletin board network called FidoNet. When they both graduated from high school, Kira returned to the States, moved in with Morrow, and became one of the Gregarious Games' first employees. For the first 2 years, she was their entire art department. They got engaged a few years later, after the launch of the Oasis. They were married a year later, at which time Kira resigned from her position as an artistic director at GSS. She was a millionaire now, too, thanks to her company stock options. Morrow stayed on at GSS for 5 more years. Then in the summer of 2022, he announced he was leaving the company. At that time, he claimed it was for personal reasons. But years later, Morrow wrote in his autobiography that he'd left GSS because, quote, we were no longer in the video game business, end quote, and because he felt that the Oasis had evolved into something horrible. It had become a self-imposed prison for humanity, he wrote, a pleasant place for the world to hide from its problems while human civilization slowly collapses, primarily due to neglect. That paragraph really resonated with me because I think a lot of times I'll see people and they're not connecting the way we did even 5-10 years ago. And we're using a lot of the other realities we're creating as escapism as opposed to maybe the tools that they had first been envisioned to be. That's not to say they weren't developed for entertainment purposes, but there are so many great problems. And I know that people are using these other realities in order to escape their concerns, in order to escape maybe responsibility. But we need to kind of rethink, why are we doing that and how can we use these? I know that this book was incredibly successful. It was a New York Times bestseller, and then it was turned into a movie. Spielberg directed it. That was a hugely grossing movie, a little bit different than the book if you've seen the movie and read the book. But I think the message is still the same, that we have these tools and we need to really use them in a different way and think a little bit differently about their impact on society. We've seen recently how some of these tools can be used to disrupt elections. They can be used to confuse people on health information. They can be used to propagate false news and false stories. So we need to, libraries have an incredible role, and librarians do, in teaching people how to evaluate news sources and information sources, and teach people how to be able to discern that for themselves so that they are smart users of information. And that's why I chose this book. I think that the idea of escaping once in a while into another reality is exciting, it's fun, but we also have to ground it in what's going on around us, what's happening, and how can we use it as a tool to help other people out. And I think there's great potential. We already see that there's a lot of campaigns that have been started, especially through the site GoFundMe. When people are having crises, whether it's a medical issue, whether it's being able to fundraise for a project initiative. I've heard of some nonprofits getting some starts from there. I think that there's tremendous ability for us as social media consumers to come together and to use these tools to make wonderful things and to make our world a better place. So that is my book, and I hope you guys continue reading and participating in the Great American Read and in Richmond's 100 Days. And there are so many great books, and I hope that this has made you think about reading the book. Read the book first, then watch the movie, and think about what you can do when you're online to raise awareness for other people and to connect with people in a more human way. Thank you.